Hello everyone and welcome to a new video on the channel. I'm Adam and this is the last Beast Quest Beast View specials. For the time being anyway. Basically what I'm saying is I'm fully caught up with the series now. And this is just the last batch of 3 specials I need to do, and then I'm caught up to the current ones because the rest of them haven't been released yet. Half of Series 25 has already been released. I already have them. I haven't read them yet because I don't plan to until I get the other half. And I'm aware there's another special called Arcano, or Arcano, I don't know, that's going to be coming out soon. I will be getting him / her, most likely a him, but I will not be, and I will read it, but I will not be reviewing it until after the other specials, after it come out. So, you won't know my opinion on it. But, yes, let's get into this. So, the 3 specials I'll be reviewing for this batch is Ospira the Savage Sorceress, Scalamanx the Fiery Fury, and Peterix the Winged Slicer. Peterix, I'm not really sure on that name, but I'm going to call it Peterix because that's what I've always been calling it. Even though I think I just said Peterix, but okay. So we're going to start things off with Ospira, the Savage Sorceress. Design is an 8 out of 10. It may look a bit humanoid, but the only difference is between, let's say, Kyrax and Rivera. This one actually looks really intimidating. And I need to say I like that because if you're going to look humanoid, you need to look intimidating, and this one pulls it off with the facial expression, the dark colours she has, as well as the staff, and also she's holding Prince Thomas in, well, with a spell underneath her hand, which is like, oh no, you kidnapped him. Okay. Abilities is a 9 out of 10. Essentially, pretty much any magical power she can do, as well as using her staff as a spear as well, because it's very deadly sharp, along with a few others, but an important one to note that may or may not be used in Battle of the Beasts will be the fact that Ospira is able to possess other people or beasts, as we sort of asked her. So that I could make advantage of, and hopefully I can, because that would be something fun to do. Basically, Ospira beats the beast, makes him really weak, then takes possession of him. That's how Ospira would win. And then in a future battle, Ospira may or may not call that beast out to help her. So maybe that might work. If it goes like that, Ospira could win. But as I said in a video that I recorded prior to this, and a video I'm uploading after this one, another beast can technically do the same, just not really possessing, more like body control. I think that's the word. Either way, I said that multiple times in that video, but I'm going to say it here. I'm going to need to ask Lucas a lot of these, for the simple reason, he's not really the co-host, but he's the person who makes the drawings here. Like, he says which beast's going against which. He doesn't choose them himself, otherwise he would have been biased, like last season. He wasn't biased. His favourite did die in round 3, so obviously not biased. But he's basically making sure I don't cheat. Anyway, moving back on to Ospira. The fight is a 7 out of 10. Honestly, I didn't like the fight, because it felt like Ospira wasn't really using her magical powers to her full potential. She only used a couple of them, and that's it. You are a witch and you don't use the magical powers. You instead go for using your staff as a spear. Why? Okay. The total is 24 out of 30 for Ospira. Abilities are great and design is good, but the fight feels rushed and is very disappointing. Yeah, that was another thing about the fight. The fight didn't really feel that special because nothing major was happening in that fight, and it just felt rushed. Like it was like 1 or 2 chapters long. Something else I would say though, which is another negative about Ospira, and shouldn't have, because I was really looking forward for this beast. Um, the ending was essentially Jakara, because the whole good soul, technically good soul, trapped inside a beast, and then when released, then died shortly after. Yeah, it's like Jakara. Problem is though, this one didn't make me shed a tear, unlike Jakara. So that's bad. But I'm really disappointed by that because I really wanted to like Ospira. The beast is alright, but the fight, no. The story, the first half, the story was good. The last half, no. There was a point to this book where you get to read like a journal of Ospira, which is Adaro's sister, basically given like a diary entry for a different day, I'll say. I like that. I like that. It was something unique-ish. And I would like to see more of that in future books. That is something I liked. Something else to mention is the actual human transformation thing. Yeah, so Ospira, Adaro's sister, transformed into Ospira the Beast, which is kind of a recycled human to beast transformation. Same with animal to beast transformation. We've seen them once in Series 3, all the time in Series 9 and 16, apart from the last book in Series 9. Yes, topics. And technically Jakara. There are other books Okawa. Yeah, Okawa. There were other books, but I can't remember them right now. But yeah, it's a recycled trend which happened quite a few times. It's not a bad thing because I like it. It's just when it's reused over the course of a series, like Series 16, that is when I don't like it. But with this one, it actually felt different though, because we don't know if it was the same with Jakara, but we do know that it's different with the others, because the other transformations happened within, let's say, a couple minutes. Ospira's transformation, it felt like it happened over a couple days. So it's like a prolonged transformation, which is something unique to the table about this kind of thing, which I kind of liked about it. So that's a boost, I guess. But anyway, moving on to the next book, which is Scalamanx the Fiery Fury. Design is an 8 out of 10. If anything, it's worse than Ospira. It's not humanoid. It's just a giant salamander that's on fire. But that's not a bad thing. Like, salamanders are cute. They really are. I just put design as 8 out of 10 because even though it's not as intimidating as Ospira, it's probably around the greatness in design as Ospira though. If anything, a slight bit weaker. That's how intimidating Ospira is. Abilities are 9 out of 10. It can regenerate lost limbs or tail. It has these little fire lashes on his head, which he can use as whips, as well as using his tail as whips. Pretty much anything he touches spontaneously combusts, like Hellion. And there was one other thing. There was one other thing, but I can't remember it. I think that's it, actually. Oh, yeah. I'm going to remember it after this recording, and I'm going to be really upset. But that's all the abilities I can remember as of now. Oops. I really need to make a note of these abilities. The fight is an 8 out of 10. It wasn't really a great fight, let's say, but it's better than Ospira's by far. But and that's the simple reason being, like, it wasn't really a special fight. The only thing that made it good, I guess, is that Tom, let's say, wasn't really feeling himself. So that's something, I guess. Total for Scalamax is 25 out of 30. It's a great beast with great scores all around. Weakest is the fight, but it's still good, but just not great. Now, when I say Tom isn't really feeling himself, I would say I don't really feel comfortable saying this. Let's. Okay, so we find out in this book quite a lot of stuff about Petra. Petra turns out she actually has a crush on Tom, and she scammed this person called Locksmith to buy a love potion where she mixed it into a stew and gave that stew to Tom as well as herself and Alina, but that one didn't have the love potion in. And apparently the first person Tom sees, he falls in love with that person straight away. However, Petra's plan backfired. Instead of him looking at her, he ended up looking at Alina. Now, to some fans, that's great because finally live in fandom, like the two main characters in love with each other. The reason why I'm feeling a bit uncomfortable saying this is because I'm 18 and they're 12. It's just a bit weird talking about love with two 12-year-olds. I'm surprised Lucas didn't feel uncomfortable talking about it. But in my opinion, I don't think that was a good idea. It was a unique twist, which I like. Well, not really a twist. A unique plot to put there, which I kind of liked. But I think if I talk about the future for these characters, let's say after, well, not really after, but as they grow up, I would probably say Tom is more better off with Amelia or something. So yeah, I agree with I agree with Lucas when he says that Amelia is the better suit for Tom. Sorry, Lena, but yeah, bit of a weird story arc. Bit of desperation for Petra, but it was good. It was good. That's all I'm going to say. It was good. Now moving on to Petrix, the Winged Slicer. Design is a 9 out of 10. It is obviously the best design out of all of them. Fairly intimidating out of all the beasts here. Not the most, but with it looking the least humanoid and to an extent kind of adorable. It's good. It's very good. Abilities are 9 out of 10. It's basically a walking death machine. It can fly, obviously. Its tail can be used as a whip. Its tongue can be used as a little jabby thing, like a dagger, which has this deadly poison on it, which can inject her victims and kill them over a prolonged period of time, making them weaker. Her wings can be used as like swords, like she swishes them and it essentially goes like a sword. And she flies sky high. I believe there's another beast that does this. I think it's most likely Hawkeye. She folds her wings in and dives down with a beak out like a spear. So within like 4 abilities I just said, apart from the flying one, she can reenact 4 powerful weapons: a whip, swords, spear, and I'm gonna say a dagger. That's probably wrong, but I don't know. And there was another ability which I believe is, I think it's just sharp teeth. She can also use her claws as well. She's a walking death machine, and I thought Coron was a death machine. This is a bigger, better, eviler death machine. The fight is an 8 out of 10 though. Now this fight is by far the best out of these 3. No competition there though, because one had a plot which made it kind of interesting. The other was rushed, so so this one was obviously going to be the best. Let's start things off with the way that this fight was the best. Is that it was an aerial battle, and if you've been watching my reviews long enough time, you know that I like my aerial battles, especially when it's mainly in the air and the beast gets defeated in the air, which is what she did. Well done. It also had Tanner, the first Master of the Beast fly on Epos back then, to come and help out, and basically all Tanner did, as he was injected with a poison, feeling very weak now, all he did was chuck up his sword, and Tom decapitated Petrix. Ew. And then saved Tom from falling, as he didn't have a shield on him. Basically, Tom travelled back in time. That's how he was able to fight alongside Tanner. We also got to learn a couple of other stuff about Tanner's past, like especially Epos' name being Fireposs. I'm pretty sure I've said in another book though, so not really surprising. But the surprising thing is that Tanner had 3 friends who also had 3 beasts of their own. Them being Rufus, the wizard that we are aware of, Castor, who is kind of a douchebag, and Gwen, who is like the female, has those 4. And their respective beasts are Falcor for Rufus, we already talked about Falcor, Nera, which is like a mountain lion kind of thing for Castor, and Golkion, which is like Carnivora but smaller, basically. I think that's a good way to say it. I don't know. I don't really know much about those beasts, and if anything, this book actually inspired me to get the book series Chronicles of Avantia, because then I can actually learn about these beasts. So I might do a review on them. I don't know if I'll do beast review though on them, because there's not really a certain beast, and 2 of them's already been done anyway, so I think I'll just talk about it after I'm done with it. That's all I do. But yeah, Petrix, actually a great book. It dealt with travelling back in time very well, especially the part where Tom is starting to fade out of existence and people are starting to forget who he is, and a bunch of other stuff. I found it quite good, actually. The total for Petrix is 26 out of 30. Thank you, Lucas. The total for Petrix is 26 out of 30. It's the best piece of this set, easily. The ability to make Petrix a killing machine. And her fight had an element to it, showing that Tanner is kind of like Tom. Not really relation-wise, but bravery-wise. Like, they can be on the edge of death and they'll still fight on, which is something which I appreciated a lot and I liked, especially for Tanner, who we don't really know much about, but to know that he'll do something that we know Tom would do is like, those 2 really are alike. Also, the villain in that one was Rhea. I thought I should say that because this is not... Hold on. You know what, I'm going to say it. This is by far her best plan. To travel back in time, kill Tom's ancestor, which is Tanner, and so he'll just fade out of existence entirely and not exist. Honestly, why didn't someone do that sooner? But it was a great way of doing it, and the fact that it was slowly starting to work, and we don't find out that it actually worked until the last few pages. No, and we don't find out until she failed at the last few pages. I'm like, oh my god, she's won. Something else I need to mention is that Rhea, we haven't seen her back in the present. So either she gone back in the present and ran off to plot another plan, or she's stuck there. Like, we're not seeing her again. I would prefer it to be the first one because I really like Rhea. I don't want to lose... Like, I don't really want to have her die just yet, because she's only had 2 seasons of Beast Quest dedicated to her, and 2 specials. I want to see more of her. Now moving on to the grand totals. Totals for designs are 25 out of 30. It's a great batch, all for all of them. All of them are intimidating in their own way, but in my opinion, the most intimidating is Ospira. I think it just has to do the eyes, especially the eyes. Abilities are 27 out of 30, easily the best batch of abilities. none of the abilities score for specials have actually gone that high. None of the abilities these beasts have are bad. Some are reused, but most of the time they're either unique or go with this beast quite well. The fights are 23 out of 30. The fights were a bit disappointing, but it got better as it went on and saved it from getting any lower than what it already has. Unfortunately, I think Ospira's mainly pulled it down, and if Scalamax's and Petrix's fight were a bit more intriguing, they would be higher, but as of now, but not really as of now, but as for the foreseeable future and now, they're not great fights. So I would reread them, maybe not Ospira, but I will reread Petrix mainly. Just go like, that was a great story, great plan of Rhea, and we get to see the original Big Four. The grand total, though, is 75 out of 90. Overall, a relatively high score for the specials. Tied with Part 2, I believe, for the highest score. Part 3 got the highest. Tied with Part 2 for the second highest score. If the fights weren't as disappointing as they are, I would expect they would have easily got the highest score. Now, let's say all of them boosted up by 1, let's say. Yeah, they would have tied with the highest score. But if Ospira's was around the same level as Scalamax and Petrix's, and went up, they would have been 1 point over, which I'm really sad that didn't happen, because this is probably my favourite batch of specials. But like with Part 2, Part 4, and Part 3, they have those beasts which kind of pull it down a bit. So yeah. Unfortunately, now going on to the ranking, Ospira was the beast that pulled it down. Basically, I was really looking forward to this beast, but unfortunately, due to a reused story which wasn't as well presented, as well as so many attributes for the ignore that second part. So a reused story that wasn't very well done, as well as a rushed and disappointing fight with a lack of ability to use in that fight. What the hell? I don't like it. Unfortunately, it wasn't that good. You'll find out where it ranks on my list of 24 when I record it with Lucas as a collaboration. More about that after the rest of the ranking. So second is Scalamax the Fiery Fury, no surprise there. This one had some disappointing elements to it, especially in the fights, but if we ignore that, it's a rather solid beast. Like, got that average score, 25 to 24, the average score that every beast gets, most of them anyway. So it's not a bad beast per se, it's just not a great beast per se. God, what am I doing? What am I doing in my life? So, personally, in my opinion, Scalamax is not great, not bad, just kind of in the middle. Like, I don't know if it'll be in the middle of the list of 24 or an entire list of all the books, but it'll probably be around the middle sector though, so not too good, not too bad, just in the middle, because it had a unique plot to it, which is something that I wasn't really a big fan of, but did change the story a lot, which is what I liked. Big cringy at some point, so that book. And of course, the best book of this batch is easily Petrix. I don't even know why I need to be explaining this. It's the only fight that I wasn't disappointed by. Well, to be fair, a bit disappointed about all the fights, but this one was by far the best. Like, abilities and design saved it, made it the highest score of this set. Like I said, Walking Death Machine, and I liked the point where Tom and Alina travel back in time and meet the former Master of the Beast and his companions, who had their own beasts of their own. And to see Falcor again, yes, I was really glad to see him again. Fireposs, yeah, I'm glad to see Fireposs. Well, Epos, but I'm glad to see her again. Nera and Golkion, I've never seen before, and I know I'll see again. I just didn't, because they didn't really get much to do. I don't know if I'm a big fan of them though, so I'm not going to give my opinion on them. But the worst out of those, design wise, Nera easily. It doesn't even have wings. So what the hell? But yeah, that's my ranking for the specials of Past 8 specials. And join me in the next video, which would just be the video that I was talking about earlier in this episode, where it's talking about all the specials before I read these. It's essentially a trailer to Master of the Beast Season 2. Not Master of the Beast, Bastard of the Beast Season 2. God, I'm tired. And then on Sunday, I believe it is, I will be doing a collaboration with Lucas on the ranking of these specials from worst to best in our opinion. Our list is different. We do not know what our list is. If anything, Lucas is more of a good guess on what my ranking is, as I've kind of done mini rankings as of this, and he already knows which one's my favourite. But it might change, might not. I don't know. Probably might. But the thing is, the ranking will be done on Lucas's channel and my second channel called the Adam Ferns Archives. Reason being, it'll be recorded live and on Lucas's channel, and since you have the master copy, let's say, he'll probably upload it to the Adam Ferns Archives. If I'm tempted to ask him to upload it to this current channel, I probably would. I'm just a bit hesitant on it, because if I do, I'll need to give him my password for YouTube. Which I'm not the most confident about, but I think I'm going to need to grow up. So yeah, it should be uploaded on everyone's channels. Lucas's will have it first though, and the Adam Ferns Archives and my channel will just get it second hand, not live, but it'll be alright. Anyway, that's all for this time. If you like what you saw, leave a like, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe, press that notification bell down the corner below, and I'll see you next time.